joining me on Life, Love, All the Above, your host, Jay. Well, today we're going to talk about buy now and pay later. Well, let's actually just go through the pros and the cons. I first was introduced when I was trying to buy some shoes off of DSW. I saw this afterpay logo, didn't really know what it was, so I clicked on it and I'm like, okay, this is another one of those type of things you have to apply for a credit card. But when I actually went into it, I found out you can pay with your debit card. So when I did this, I still was a little skeptical. I didn't know what this really was about. So I just went along with the flow, and then when I checked out, I used my debit card, and lo and behold, my shoes are ready. So when I went over to the Afterpay site, I realized they broke up the payments in 4 payments. And guess what, y'all? Interest free. That did it for me. I said, okay, we have something here. So I started mentioning this to some of the ladies at my job, and lo and behold, they were already using Afterpay. So I'm a little in my feelings like, okay, you didn't think to let me know about Afterpay? Anyway, so as I was going through the process of this, I started to study Afterpay and really figure out what this really was. But I did find out something very important that we all need to be, just make sure you understand this before you actually buy something on Afterpay. When you do buy something and they break it up in 4 payments, it is a weekly payment, not monthly. And that is very important for you to know. If you have $100 shoes, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's like $20 every week. So you got to keep that in mind. This is not monthly payments, this is weekly. So I was a little bit in my feelings with that, but I'm like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal, but let me just see what else they have. So when I found out more and more stores were like really catching on to this, I just was amazed that this was actually interest free. So then I got a hold of another one called Klarna. They were doing the same thing, and they had even more stores. So Klarna does Dillard's. I don't know if you're familiar with Dillard's, but Dillard's is like almost like a Macy's. And when I realized Dillard's was on here, I was just flabbergasted at that point. I was sold. And then when I found out QuadPay, which is now Zip, keep that in mind, same thing. But the difference between Zip before Klarna Afterpay did this, Zip will allow you to use an in-store credit card, which means you can actually go into the store. And I did this at Ulta. I went into Ulta and I went to the register. I had all my items there, and Zip created a credit card for me. And all I did was send it to my Apple Pay. I placed my phone on top of the register, and I was done. They took out half of the payment in my debit card, and she gave me my bag, and I was on my way. I could not believe this. I was like, this is going to change a lot of credit card companies, because as we all know, you cannot go over 20% of your actual credit for credit cards. So this is going to definitely stop the usage of credit cards, which I think is a great thing, because if you have a line of credit that's associated with your social security number, you can't go over 20%, so you're kind of like stuck. But with Afterpay, Zip, and Klarna, you never have to worry about it. But I will say with Zip, you do need to be careful because they do charge a $1 fee. I don't know if you can consider that as a interest payment, but each payment that you make, you have to pay Zip $1. So keep that in mind. They do charge $1. I'm assuming that's their interest. So I was kind of like, I could do a lot more with Zip, but now that I'm realizing Afterpay now, you can use credit cards in the store, but you really need to be careful, because sometimes these credit cards, I don't know if it works for all the stores, but if they're actually sending it to your Apple Pay, I don't think it should be a problem. So I'm going to check into that and let you get back to you on that one. So basically, use your discretion when it comes to buy now, pay later. Some people think it's a financial debt, but I will say if you are doing these, it can be very addictive. So be very careful when you're using Klarna, Zip, and Afterpay. And take it from me, I got a little happy. A little too happy. But it's okay. No, it's really not. But anyway, back to my point. I really think this is a great idea. Whoever thought of this, Afterpay, I found out, yes, he's making millions off of this. And sometimes don't you think, why not come up with something like this? Like, really? Because it makes sense. People don't want to use credit cards, so they'll use Afterpay, Klarna, and Zipped. And like I said, the only downfall I really feel about this is the weekly payments versus monthly. So it's almost like when you go to Rent-A-Center and you buy furniture, you're paying weekly payments instead of monthly payments. So I'm not trying to compare this to, you know, Rent-A-Center, but it's almost like that type of, you know, method. I said all that to say, always do things with discretion. Do your research on all of these. I have some pros and cons that I've listed for you to look at. Like I said, it lowers our credit cards, you know, usage down, as we all have to stay at that 20%. And we go over 20%, your credit starts to go down, and then you're affected by that. So keep that in mind. Let me know in the comments if you've used Afterpay, Zipped, and Klarna, and let me know what you think about this. I do know Zip does do airline tickets, but I will say I think some of these might be a credit check. So check into that before you get excited and you see airlines, because I think I did Ticketmaster and I could not check out. I did Ticketmaster through Klarna, and Klarna did ask me for a credit check. So I was like, okay, you're advertising this, but some of them do require. So I'm going to sign off and say thank you for joining me on Life, Love, All the Above. I'm your host, Jay. Have a good day.